I'm going to go over a couple things today on the best way to compost your food waste. I get asked a number of questions about number one, what types of food go into your bin? Number two, what's the best way to collect your food? And number three, how often do I need to add it in to my composting bin? So I'm going to step you through each one of these here. Let's start off by talking about the different types of foods that you can collect in your kitchen here. First off, we want anything from a plant-based food is fine to put into your composting bin. Anything produced by an animal, we want to stay away from that. Fruits, vegetables, coffee grounds, bread, all those items are great to collect and put into the composter. Anything from the animal, meats, chicken, seafood, dairy items, cheesy items, or anything with a lot of oil in it, those different types of dressing and oils. We want to avoid all those type of things. They will spoil. The microorganisms don't break those down, and what happens is that's where you can get some of those unwanted pests and odors and things like that. So let's stay away from that. I do get asked a lot about eggs. Egg shells are okay to put in, but definitely not eggs. You may want to, I would suggest rinsing them off first, get some of that goop out of there, and then you're okay to put them in one of these bins here. Let me look what I have in my refrigerator here and kind of take you through the steps and the ways that we can collect them. So I went into my fridge and I pulled out a number of foods that we're able to compost. Just as a note, the average family here in Sarasota County throws away roughly 20 pounds of compostable food every month. So, we generate a lot of this excess material and we have it. It's just a matter of retraining yourself to put it into a compost container rather than throw it down the garbage disposal or put it into our trash. A few items I have here, I don't know how they show up on camera, but we get a lot of these microwavable corn and vegetable packs that we have left over at the bottom. These are great to take and then put into one of our composting bins here and collect. Maybe you have some leftover baby carrots. Again, fruits and vegetables are great to put into your bin. I always get asked about citrus. Citrus is fine for traditional composting. Where people get confused a little bit is when they're doing a vermiculture, and the worms don't tend to like a lot of that citrus type stuff. So you can go in, kind of start peeling one of your little cuties or halos here, and rather than throwing it into our garbage disposal, we want to change behavior and collect that into our composting bin. So it's just really retraining yourself to do that. I was showing you this bin here. I like to use this and gather up the food in there, and I actually put it into my freezer. I will let it build up for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, until I get enough volume in there, and then I'll take it out. It's really up to you on how you want to manage that. You can take your food out every day. You can do it a couple times a week, or every other week or something like that. Whatever works best for you, and depending on how much you build up. The other thing is I suggest putting it into that freezer, or at least keeping it somewhere in the refrigerator I don't want you to put it on your counter. It can attract ants and things like that. So it's a great system for me to kind of just freeze it, let it build up, take it when I'm going out the door. This is kind of a cool little bin too. It's a silicone type item. It has a little hook on it. You can hang this right over top of the edge of one of your drawers. So if you go through and start chopping up some of your material, peppers, onions, things like that, you can simply just kind of slide those right in there and build it up. Find a system that works well for you and that scales to the amount of food waste that you have. If you don't want to go out and buy one of these bins like this, you could probably find something around your house you already have. I've seen people use these Tide type containers, work really well. Just load it up in there, or even just a little, little tub that you have around. This is probably from an old meat container or something like that. You put it in there and collect it. I would generally build up about half of one of these little containers and then take it out. That way it's more spaced out and you're not adding lots and lots of food all at once. You don't want to dump in a whole buckets and bucket loads, because there are other people who are going to be contributing to that. But just an easy way to manage it, fill up about a half a bucket or so of this and then take it and drop it in on your way out of the complex.